Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 8 of Today in the World of Wrestling. This is going to be probably one of, if not the shortest episode ever, because we had 4 matches and no other storyline development tonight on Lucha Underground. It was Ultima Lucha Dos Parte Uno, or Part 1, for those of you that are English only speakers. And this show was amazing.
Yeah, really incredible start to Ultima Lucha Dos.
Yeah, this was a crazy episode of Lucha Underground. We got 4 matches tonight. All 4 of them were absolutely. I think that John and I were even talking about this, and I think that if there was only one word that I could use to describe this show, it was fun.
Yes, absolutely. Put a capital F on that. This was phenomenal.
That's kind of what they went for last year too. The first part of Ultima Lucha, the first Ultima Lucha, was more fun and kind of high spirited and stuff with the cage versus the machine versus the Mack match, and then the trios match with Angelico jumping off stuff, and then the final match was freaking nunchucks and people whipping Hernandez. So lots of fun there. But then tonight we had 4 matches, 3 of which were crazy and fun and violent and all over the place. The final one was kind of put a damper on things, kind of like how last year the Disciples won the trios titles from the unlikely trio. But still, let's get right into this. First thing we got tonight was Cage versus the Mack, but Dario Cueto doesn't want it to be just the Cage versus the Mack. He wants it to be Falls Count Anywhere yet again, much like last year.
Going back in time, baby, doing it again.
And this match was insane. There were all kinds of crazy spots in it. A stop sign was involved, beers were involved, stunners were involved. A top rope frog splash attempt was made and succeeded, and at the end of the day, the Mack comes out on top, victorious, avenging his loss to the Machine last year at Ultima Lucha.
Redemption attained for the Mack.
Up next, though, we had our second match of the night, which was Texano versus Son of Havoc. But again, Cueto emerges from his office and he says, I see a cowboy, I see a biker, what I think of is a bar fight. So this is going to be a Boyle Heights bar fight match. And again, there was crazy violence in this match. These guys killed each other, but no one killed anyone more than Son of Havoc did the killing to Texano, because he put Texano through a pile of broken wood, and then he back body dropped Texano through the bar that was sitting outside the ring that had all kinds of glass and stuff in it. And then to really put the icing on top, he grabbed a box of wine bottles, smushed them up and crushed them and destroyed them and made a bunch of different shards of glass with his feet, and then sent Texano through it multiple times for the win. So Son of Havoc advances. And then we get our finals, which is Son of Havoc versus the Mack. This ended up becoming another Falls Count Anywhere match, just like the Mack versus Cage. And who comes out on top, John?
Son of Havoc soars, baby.
So there you go, again with the alliteration. I think the alliteration is just going to have to be a TitWoW only gimmick, right?
Probably.
So yeah, we get Son of Havoc victorious, and then Dario Cueto comes out with 2, not 1, but 2 briefcases. And he says, look, man, you've got 2 choices here. You can either take more money than you're ever going to make in your entire life, $250,000, or you could take this other briefcase, which has a contract in it to become a main eventer. Literally, you will main event Ultima Lucha 3. And Son of Havoc, being the very intelligent and very sort of, goal-oriented person that he is, doesn't quite care so much about money. So he says, Cueto, you could offer me $250 million, and I would still take that contract to main event Ultima Lucha 3. But Cueto doesn't seem too happy about this. I think he would have preferred to give away his money, because then he says, okay, you get it as long as you beat your next opponent. And he says that if the opponent wins, they get the $250,000. So who was it, John?
Dr. Wagner Jr.
Famous B's new client, Dr. Wagner Jr. I had to kind of emphasize that because that's huge. And sadly enough, in the end, Dr. Wagner Jr., Havoc had already been through 2 brutal matches, so it's not like he loses credibility here, but Dr. Wagner Jr. comes out with the victory after a Michinoku driver.
Yeah, which was preceded by Son of Havoc missing a shooting star, so even further protecting Havoc. Yep. Dr. Wagner Jr. emerges victorious.
And then afterwards, we got Famous B ecstatic because, we're rich. And Dr. Wagner, the victor, chiseled as a freaking, he's chiseled out of stone, man. And he's 50 years old. It's crazy.
Benjamin Button syndrome, something fierce.
Yeah, but that being said, guys, that was Ultima Lucha Todos Part 1, Lucha Underground Season 2, Episode 24. And we will be back with our full discussion on this show in TitWoW.